but just to say everybody's very, very welcome. It's lovely that you've given up your day today on Saturday to join us. Join us all and join the professionals and join families. And we've got a really packed program, a really kind of inspirational program, as I know you'll expect, particularly from Alström families, on what they're up to and what they're doing. After saying a very, very warm welcome to you all, as I say, thank you for joining us on this Saturday. So, as I say, a very warm welcome to everybody, families, individuals, siblings, aunts and uncles, carers. And as you know, what we're trying to do is just all get together, work collaboratively, share not just medical knowledge, but some of the practical tips of bringing up kids with Alström, or for adults with Alström, to share some of their practical tips too. And it helps us then to try and, as you know, we're forging ahead to try and get that global picture of Alström through the patient registry that I know many of you are starting to sign up to and sharing with people with Alström. It's lovely to hear from families throughout the world and professionals everywhere. And we hope next year, I started off by saying when we started these 3 years ago, but we're hoping next year to have some celebration for ASUK, who we will be 25 years old next year. When I say we, I don't mean any of us individually, strangely enough. I mean the organisation. So we're looking forward to having a year of celebration. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to briefly run through the agenda for the day, which again will be, I think, on your screens, and I think you can access that. Let me look at Catherine, who's going to nod at me. Yeah, okay. And not only will you be able to access the agenda, we've got the fabulous Laura with us again, who's keeping a graphic illustration throughout the day of all of the presentations. Have we got Laura with us? Can we get away from Laura? I will try, as she's drawing pictures, I'll try and give some description of those throughout the day. As you know, we use them time and time again to share with everybody. Okay, so today's all about, views from all of our communities, wherever you are. We're going to be kicking off with a view from Germany, from Bernd and his son, Ben, and he's going to talk to us about Ben's artwork. I'm going to do very brief introductions because people will introduce themselves. Then we're going to go straight into living life on the Med and kind of view from Italy and top tips on our diet and some of the delicious food to help keep us all healthy. We'll have Q&A sessions to both of those. And then we're going to move on to a very quick break and then a little bit of armchair yoga to relax us all and get us all in the mood for the next session. Professor Rick Steeds, who is at the QE and University Hospital Birmingham, University Birmingham, will give us a overview of the worldwide research updates. And then Professor Rob Semple, along with Eleanor McKay, will talk to us about research in Edinburgh in Scotland. Then Jonathan Eintracht will talk to us about some of the eye research going on in Great Ormond Street in London. There'll be an opportunity for Q&A session for all of those, and then we'll have a little bit of a comfort break. And then we're going to have a very different perspective on Alström from a young person, from a teenager. We had one of these sessions for one of our webinars, and it was just very popular with parents, because although often we'll be talking and listening to parents, we don't necessarily always hear a young person's perspective. So along with Melissa, who's one of the trustees at ASUK and an expert by experience. They have a conversation around what it's like growing up with Alström, and they give us some quite poignant advice for parents of a child with Alström. So that's one not to be missed. And then, as you know, we do always have a bit of a focus on fitness, and Dr. Richard Paisley, many of you know, who is a diabetic consultant, will just talk about using fitness trackers and technology to support well-being alongside Trevor Parkin, our old chair at ASUK, who still works with us in a voluntary capacity. And then to celebrate some of the achievements, Hassan will be talking about cycling across Europe, and he'll be there supported by Dad. And we're just going to have some questions that we'd like to ask him, and I'm sure you'll have some questions for Hassan too. Then we'll have a quick break, and then we go into a kind of focus on what's happening globally and having some updates. So Chase Palmer, the president of ASI, is going to give us an update on ASI. Alström Syndrome Italy, Marina will give us an update on what's going on in Italy. The Alström Initiative Germany, Bernd will share an update on what's going on there. And then our chief exec, Kerry, will give an update on ASUK. And then finally, just to finish off, our roundup will be around future hopes, discoveries, and working together, and what we can all do to help inform, educate, learn from each other. And then a little bit around what we're going to do to celebrate this 25 years next year, and think about really to gather some ideas from you too on some of the things you'd like to do, particularly in the UK. Okay, again, big welcome. I'm going to go straight over and pass you to Bernd. Welcome. Oh, yes, quick map of where everybody's from. Sorry, I nearly missed that one. Welcome, 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 Australia, Canada, China, Denmark, France, Germany, Greece, India, Ireland, Italy, Jersey, Norway, Oman, Peru, Portugal, Republic. I can't see the end of that word. Republic of Moldova, Romania, Singapore, Spain, Switzerland, Sweden, Turkey, UK, USA. Thank you very much for joining us. Please enjoy the day. And over to Bernd. Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks a lot, Anne. And I think I can add to your list already, because I didn't see a spot in Austria. And actually, I'm Austrian, so we got one more to add to our list. So hello, everybody. Thanks a lot for inviting me to talk a little bit about Ben's art today, which, as you can imagine, or maybe after seeing some of the slides, is one of my emotional projects, if you want so. Who am I? I'm Bernd. Like I said, I'm Austrian, but living in Munich. And I got a son. He's called Ben, and he's 10 years old now, and he's diagnosed with Alström. I also got a little daughter. She's 6 months. And Ben was diagnosed about 6 years ago. And basically, since then, we've been working with his disease. We've been managing his disease. And we really had the pleasure, the great pleasure, I have to say, of experiencing a young little boy growing up, being almost blind, dumb, and having many of the troubles most of you know, loving his life and loving what he's experiencing, taking his conditions as they are, not complaining, but really making the best out of it. And that's hugely impressing me on a daily basis. And he's not only loving his life, so he's also loving to paint. And that kind of made me think, because at some stage in my life, I couldn't accept anymore that and especially in Germany, the situation isn't really good about Alström. We didn't have any structures or anything alike. So I didn't want to accept anymore that doing nothing is all I can do, and just seeing a lucky little boy growing up and nobody helping him. So I started setting up, I would call it basic structures for all the other Alström affected persons in Germany and wherever, also to really start working more and more on the disease. And like this map, I don't want to go in detail, I'll say some words later on, shows a little bit what I'm doing. So it's really starting from scratch, finding patients, doing a petition on that, organizing the patients. Now we are setting up a patient organization. We are getting a registry also for Germany, which is quite important because it helps awareness. We are now starting to focus more on research, using extensively the ASUK network. We had a tremendous meeting a couple of months or weeks ago, looking at an ecosystem to build up, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, Alström, I don't need to tell anybody, it's so small, so you need to talk about it. You need to make people aware of what it means if you're talking about Alström or if you're talking about rare diseases. And this is where Bernd comes into the game, because for me, the journey started with making people aware of what the situation is and what the challenges are that we are having. And what was important for me when thinking about how to make Alström more aware was, how can I do it in this positive way, in a way of looking at chances, in a way of maybe empowering other people, and taking Ben as my teacher, showing me how to make the best out of your capabilities. I kind of thought maybe using his paintings, and that a blind person is painting, I think is quite unusual as a fact. But as in the beginning, I liked his paintings, and later on others told me that they were not so bad. I thought maybe I can use them, as a language to speak to people in a positive way and in an encouraging way about his disease, about the challenges that are there, but at the end of the day, about the opportunities we all have, no matter how our circumstances are. I know that sounds sometimes weird for some of you, or sometimes also for me, having a situation as we have it, talking about the positives. But for me, at least, it's something extremely important to really make the best out of these situations, to look at the good sides, to look at the possibilities we have, to don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do, but focus on that what you love to do, and then just do it. And that's a little bit the background of Ben's art. What my original intention was, to share his positive spirit and to use it as a communication language to make people aware of the disease. But overall, very important, I always wanted to do in a way that I protect Ben. So it's not showing him to the world. For me, it's more showing his attitude. This is why I called it Ben's art, because art in German means character, and art, if you translate it from English into German, means art like Kunst. So it's a combination of art and character, if you want. So, and that's what I wanted to share with the world, and not so much him as a person. So whatever I do, I try to keep him more or less out, or just show parts of him, but not really use him as a person too much, because he's too young for that, and I don't want it. So what did I do? I kind of set up a non-profit organization where I'm doing like the Alström initiatives and all the activities that are running there. And then I kind of found a daughter, which is Ben's art, so that I make sure whatever happens there, whatever I'm selling there, all the profit goes into the non-profit organization. It really gets into the purpose of kind of the doing, which is to push Alström research, Alström activities, not only in Germany, but wherever needed, wherever necessary. Because one important thing, and then this is why I so much appreciate these global conferences that the ASUK is doing or are doing. We're not going to fix the problem if we are working, in silos. It's so important to work together and share all that we are doing. What's important for me as well is, I don't want to work with compassion if it comes to Ben's art. This is also something why I separated from like my Alström initiative. I really wanted to kind of come from the positive emotions that people get when they see his pictures. that's for me the entrance. So I don't want to sell pictures or sell whatever because of compassion, because people say, okay, you know, like give him some money to support him. That would be unfair towards Ben, and I don't want that. Like I said in the beginning, I want to be positive, I want to be encouraging. So I always start from, let's have a product, let's have a painting which is nice, which is looking good, and if people like that, then they will learn more. Then they will learn maybe, oh, it's a little boy, he's 10 years old, oh, he's blind, oh, there is a rare disease. I think that's much stronger over time as if I would do it the other way around. So that's also quite important for me. And so I set up that kind of little business or shops, and I'm offering there different things, you know, like art prints, or sometimes there are auctions where we are selling the original pictures. We're doing NFTs, we're doing special editions, and we're doing flip-flops or things like that as kind of accessoires. And how does it look like if you take some of the pictures? I mean, these are not renderings. Of course, they look much better if you would see them in original. I brought some examples how these pictures can look like. And something, I mean, that's really more a fun part, but it's quite good for awareness and marketing. We're also doing some NFTs, so where somebody kind of alters the pictures a little bit to make it more futuristic, and so you can also send them as NFTs. And like I said, there is also some accessoires that can be bought with Ben's motifs. And of course, it's extremely important always to keep in mind who is the most important person there. It's Ben, you know. If he wants to paint, he paints. If he doesn't want to paint, he doesn't paint, you know. So you should never whatever force him to do so. So it's kind of a maybe there is a time limit behind what we are doing here, but that's not the point, because overall, and you will see it later on, it could be anything in the future. Maybe he will, whatever, start playing music more intense and love that, and that's his passion. So maybe there's something to share. And like I said, I'll show it later on. I want to build this platform. I want to scale it. I basically want to offer it to anybody who has skills, who wants to share his skills, and show different perspectives. And that for me is the real big kind of emotional benefit of this doing, to show different perspectives. No matter if you're having a certain challenge, if you're disabled or not, it doesn't matter. If there's something you love doing, share it with others and do it. That should be the message. And nobody on this planet has the right to judge if you're supposed to do it or not. You will always be allowed to do it. And if you love it, go for it. That's my biggest, my most important message. And of course, some sort of storytelling is also involved. So now we are doing a little bit on Instagram there, and really raising questions like, what is normal? Who has the right really to judge what is normal? Or isn't it only important what you love to do, and stick to it and go for it? And by doing so, I hope we can step by step really build up stories, build up pictures, build up a kind of a world where it's normal that people are allowed to do the things they love, and others have the chance to get a different perspective of these things. So in a nutshell, what did we do the last year? And basically it's been a year, a little bit more than a year now since I started Ben's Art. We've been doing, fortunately, some sales. We got the possibility to do some exhibitions or display the pictures somewhere. We even had a nice little exhibition where Ben was present, which was fantastic to see, because in the beginning I was very kind of scared, you know, how is it to put him there, a 10-year-old boy showing his pictures. So of course I wanted to protect him, and kind of after 10 minutes I learned that I was completely wrong there, because he was so proud that people came and looked at his pictures. That is that, Daddy, it's my responsibility to take care of the people coming, so please go away and let me do it. And he was really there for hours and talking people through his pictures. So I could also feel, and that's very important as well, it helps to strengthen the self-esteem of Ben, because he sees that he can do something other people appreciate, and I think that's very important for anybody, of course. We had the pleasure that we could kind of sponsor or use some events where we could show Ben's art as well, like a tour with Aston Martin, which was quite nice, or other cars that took our motifs and made some great awareness jobs. We got some media presence, and we also did some special events, like Ben was invited by Mr. Bocelli, because I thought it's so important, you know, to always give people the feeling that they can go for whatever they want to go. And as Mr. Bocelli is blind as well, I thought maybe he's going to tell Ben as well his story. And that's what he exactly did. He said, whatever your passion is, live it and go for it. And, you know, don't let anybody hold you back. Just have your dreams and work hard for your dreams and then go for it. And that was a very strong message. And basically, again, something I want to share with Ben's art. So these are some impressions of this tour that we did. We put it under the title "Rare Times Rare is Aware," which I think worked brilliantly. So my friends from the UK don't listen now, but you know, rare cars, they're, you know, not reliable. They have their flaws. They didn't sell well. There was always too little money to further develop these cars. So there's some commonality with rare disease, and so even from that perspective, it was a good exercise to create some awareness. And basically, everybody who learns about rare diseases and our Alström, I think, is one person more who can potentially help in the future. So was a very good exercise. What is my intention now to really get things forward? Basically, so far for me, it was really a testing and the setting up of the system of what we are doing, of trying certain formats which work. We are now kind of hopefully bringing a new development, which I will show you in a minute. But my big vision is, like I'm saying on this chart, to open up a space for many people. And that would be my dream, really, to create a platform where as many people as possible can show what they're doing, can show their passion, can show different perspectives. And by that, really creating a community which hopefully is much more encouraging and positive than many things that's been done before. That's hopefully something which will come next year. We are going 3-dimensional now, because it would be, or there were a lot of discussions about how can we show pictures, how can we kind of create this atmosphere, and whatever you do on a local level always stays local. But like I said, we are talking global here. It's like global messages. Alström is a global disease. Rare disease are global. Kind of encouragement, mental health, positive thinking. It's all global things that are relevant for so many people. So we said, okay, what can we do to really reach a global audience? And we came up with these 3D rooms where we have the chance to like show the works of people, create rooms that can be whatever, you know, a room can be a universe or whatever. We can even dive into disease, so we can give backgrounds there if you want. So we can invite sponsors. We can do a lot of things, you know, and make it as wide as we think we need to do it, as long as we stick to our messages, as long as we are sticking to this kind of positive attitude, educating attitude, making people aware of what we are doing or what we want to do. And this is something which we are hopefully doing next year, and will continuously grow and open new rooms and open new perspectives to move in. And for Ben's art, for the meantime, there's as well some nice activities being planned. So there will be another tour next year taking place in Prague. This time we got now invited by the World Orphan Drug Congress to be kind of their feature sponsor, so to make a real big story around the World Orphan Drug Congress, and getting a panel discussion there and huge brandings. We're doing certain shootings taking place in a couple of other activities. There's some really special things which are not yet on it. So we are trying to build like the idea of Bernd's art more and more, and hopefully getting a good platform so that mid and next year we can start opening up and start working on this platform that I described before. That would be the vision. And like I've shown in the beginning, it's one little piece in making Alström and rare diseases more aware. But I think it's and this is my experience so far, quite positive and very valuable and very emotional, obviously, piece for me. So that would be like the end of my, I think I even managed to stay within my time, right? Fantastic. So then I would close it here. Thanks a lot for listening. Ask me questions later on, send me comments. We are happy to take everything and develop it further. And yeah, I think if we manage to push things together, we are doing it all right. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Bernd. And I'm sure people will have questions. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I always enjoy your presentations, Bernd. And one of the things I particularly enjoy is you always talk about what it is that Ben can teach you.
Yeah.
And that's very poignant and something for us to hold on to. We're
Yeah.
going to do some Q&A after Pietro's presentation. So thank you again.
Thank you.